She actually unclipped the leash right next to a fragile patient on a ventilator. Claimed her 90-pound pitbull was a registered emotional support animal, right in the middle of a sterile, lockdown intensive care unit. Her elderly dad was in bed for just hours after suffering a massive stroke. He was barely stable, hooked up to a dozen machines, and completely unable to speak. I told her firmly that the dog had to leave the critical care ward immediately. She shoved a laminated internet certificate in my face and started screaming, threatening to sue the hospital while her own dad lay there helpless and terrified. She was yelling so loud the dog started pacing and growling at the monitor cords. Then her father's IV pump alarm triggered. The sudden high-pitched noise spooked the animal, and it just completely panicked. It bolted under the hospital bed, wrapping its heavy leash around the monitor tower. $50,000 of life support equipment crashed hard to the linoleum. Essential intravenous lines were ripped directly out of her father's fragile arms. His primary oxygen supply was violently disconnected in the chaos. We had to call a rapid response team just to keep the poor man from coding right there. It took 3 security guards to finally wrestle the dog out of the ward. And this woman didn't even look at her own father fighting for his life. She just stood in the hallway screaming that we were traumatizing her fur baby. She didn't care that her dad was bleeding all over the sterile hospital sheets. The part that still haunts me is what happened the very next morning. Her dad finally stabilized, woke up, saw the ripped lines, and whispered, "She brought the dog." I had to stand there and watch a proud, elderly man sob into his oxygen mask. He knew his daughter cared more about a fake certificate than whether he survived. He used his one good hand to sign his medical power of attorney over to his brother. Then he officially banned his only child from his hospital room for the rest of his life. That oxygen mask image still gets me every time I think about this ICU room. If you were that brother, do you shut her out for good after the dog stunt?